Ebusia for mesan so emma akwa bebiem back into TV so omemu nsam ne de aye bebre adichimbia na nsam for Friday so yepron so na mamu nim say into TV so de yetin say yemfa enka momo yinya hwehwe mu asem we de no krepene ya de abro na etie for mo so manya bi etie na mo ahu na ekoso ewo maga na eni wiase afeninam ene abusiafo anji twi na yenko asama ene abeto yekonso ene sen nsam ne de aye bebre na yenua be ma bi so ye medishino so ye dienyo yenim na yenua be man ababonten a cheso de nsem bi atutwa na ne nsam a cheso de tutwa nyina ne sem abra na MPP aban ewo so eyeye nyina ye former president eye na nado na owoso no osofupon bi ebo ne pa se anya de onko didi eye ye nyina ye former president na nado atem na enu na ne papai eni ye nua be mai ababonten a chese onu ankasa eka nanum nsem na sofo a chese ebusiafo obo sa pa we se ye nua ye nko didi na nado atem wote sa sofo ni di na ebeje wonsa sofopon a sofo chese wagidin ewo maga ne mu wahete ewo maga ne mu sa sofo no ene sma se yanye de nyenko didi eye nyina ye former president na nado atem se na nado aye de se waye de obi nim enwan se ko mabo pa mama osikese nenu na nsem bia ba bonten a chese sofi ne nsem o ka kire ye nua be ma so nko didi atemi ye nua be ma ye chese wa ba bonten a chese nsem o dwiri gu ho no ebusuafo chukuli ntmensa wadaje ne kame ho na menumie nua ne nkotie ye nua sentiam sofi esman so nko didi atem nko didi ye nyina former president na nado atemi yewia ne wo bia ne so yebesan so ede abro aha Kinto TV.
Yeah.
You know, a pastor came and gave me a contract to go and insult a president of Ghana somewhere. And I said,
nipa what is wiase na se wo ya de papa nipa bi no wonder say nipa wa komapa e wa adwempa no bre wa brabo yi mu say sofo no kobo ne pa say ondi na nado atem because na nado the free SHS abra Ghana form of friend na no mo ekobi ondi na nado atem because na nado ebe provide ambulance ma every constituency ondi na nado atem because na nado the drones e buy e providing ndru e ko e friends rural areas na clinic na polyclinics wo ho na se bi emergency bi by moja na adru bi a entama se erade yankofo ambulance se car bi mfen sa adru ni ndu polyclinic o se clinic ho no ne nipa na ewu ti na nado ne bone ne se odi drone ba ya etimi deliver ndru ene moja ntem mese me ankasa mani yagane brakwa drone ti na de bia mekoho weekend bia na wo hwa drone ekọ na eba senya na nado ne bone ne se ofi abemu no oto drip machines a ende me kwan amete so enye nsunsu to ye kwan no erosion take place a eseye pe no mo drip machines no aba beji ne ntem drip machines no enso NDC fo akwa aba omo ehunyansa da se yento drip machines ngu ho na kwan ne se omo de atwa na nado na oye nipa bone na nti Ghana fu nyina so chese ehese nka yekuno ye crucify no sa papa no e no obeye sa niam we yina maye papa no yi interchange wo kromi ha yi papa no ye why ye from e friend say Accra to Kumasi road no why ye kwan do a akwakoka Linda door omanpeni dada akofo nso aye free Kumasi abepeme nkokọ NDC fo akwa aba ekwanya ekun profo bebre wo kromi ha no omuhu nyansa da se aban we aba no wa ye do a yenso yento aso sa nyansa no wo hu wo so wo baba yenso ma 50 years wo nti menye aban we ya aban a omo baso anka Ghana fo di omo ho agro denso Ghana fo se da jiminti e wa koto aba ma NDC fo na nado na ono obua Ghana fo free SHS buy na nado provide mo free aduane osi library ema omo, osi dormitories ema omo. Kyese enema na na do provide books, school atale, aduane, in the free SHS no mo fa ni aduane ndi. Saa na na do na sofo bi kwọ pass we ndi na tem. Adanya obeboa Ghana nti. Na ban be na waba so oso no mbo okro ne da nti na na do aba na se na ben mo abokro no na do no na telescope a obetimi atena Jubilee House wo ahwe sectors bia Ghana fo ne ya kronfo Ghana fo ne wa ha no ya kronfo kra si aban no ya adwene nya adwuma o ma yen position na ya adwene yen ba yen yere yen pnafo yen so no yen mame sai nkrofo we na agu nipa ba akopɛ no so nti no ono position na yekura no odwen so obewie sika de akoma sai nkrofo we na nti wo Ghana ni no odwen wo nti se corruption bi koso aban ni mu a president no ono beside as a president no so wo do any hwe na wo prosecute your own so sometimes here dey pay na ebe man nti na na ado abetena so mo de corruption and then dey nti no enyama wo ye oye yi na no mo de agu nti na mo de kwasasem brand so sofu no awu sofu no di kwasas oka obo pass go di na aratem no sofu
spokesperson on the economy. I'm grateful to you, sir, for joining us. Now, you are someone who really have followed this economy and how it's performing. The argument that the loss the Bank of Ghana has incurred is the cost of stabilizing the economy, which is making people comfortable. Isn't that a cost that should justify, or an explanation that should justify the loss?
Kojo, good evening to you and to your listeners. I want to start by making the point that you have played extensively what the majority has said at their press conference. I pray that you give the minority equal amount of time to respond before we get into any debate. First, I need you to clarify for me. Has Joy News cited the Bank of Ghana accounts as published?
No, we haven't cited it.
So what has happened is that the Bank of Ghana accounts have not been published, but the majority has been invited to do a press conference, ostensibly to try and shape people's minds before the accounts themselves are published. That should tell you that they are in an exercise of propaganda and PR, trying to hide the real facts from the Ghanaian people. What is happening is that yesterday's whistleblowers have become today's defenders. The cosmetics with which they've been managing things are beginning to wear off. And what is left now is a government side that is defending the things that they complained about when they were in opposition. Now, in 2023, the Bank of Ghana made a loss of 10 billion Ghana cedis. Today's majority, the then minority, were those who, among other things, went on demonstration, calling for the head of Governor Addison at the time, calling on him to resign. I think, if I recall correctly, within 21 days. And later, the then candidate who became president said that and other practices in the economy amounted to criminal mismanagement of the economy. I'm quoting his words. Today, they have made a loss of 15 billion Ghana cedis after they promised Ghanaians to give them power, they will do better. They've made a loss of 15 billion Ghana cedis. And instead of releasing the account so that everybody can read, they choose to hide the accounts and get the majority to do a press conference to spin it and try to explain it away. Now, you will recall that a number of things happened during the year. One, the minority kept drawing attention to the method that this government was using in its attempt to achieve a certain inflation number. They wanted to achieve a number and show to Ghanaians that they have done better. So they adopted a measure called sterilization, heavy sterilization. We have been speaking about it from 2025, and at a point they were even insulting our intelligence that we don't understand economics. And we kept saying that the extent of the sterilization they were doing will amount to huge costs on the Bank of Ghana. And that if they continue with sterilization, they can even achieve inflation of 0%. But the cost on the Bank of Ghana will be unbearable, and it did not also mean that the cost of living was going to go down. They rejected our argument, literally called us names, only today to turn around and say that the sterilization through open market operations is one of the largest contributors to their loss. You will recall again that we warned that the change in gold purchase policy, from buying from the large-scale miners to now using the gold board, was incurring losses which they were passing on to the Bank of Ghana. The IMF even highlighted some numbers in their document. And we even called for a parliamentary inquiry to go into the details and quickly put in place remediation measures. Because of politics, they refused to do that investigation. What's more, they moved that cost from Gold Board's books onto Bank of Ghana books and caused Gold Board yesterday quickly to publish their accounts and declare profit of 900 million. You see today the Bank of Ghana document, which they haven't released, but they are now spinning a political narrative about. They are even now admitting that the cost of the gold transaction is 9 billion Ghana cedis. Take that out and go and net it off what the Gold Board has announced as profit, and you will see the real impact of what has gone on there. They now want to argue that the work that the Bank of Ghana does contributes to what they call policy or economic costs. I want to refer you to Professor John Gachi in 2024, when the Bank of Ghana said that the sterilization or the open market operation costs that they had incurred, what they are now saying that small costs, small results. When the Bank of Ghana then explained that that sterilization was part of the loss, the NDC's chief advisor on the economy, Professor John Gachi, who now sits on the Bank of Ghana Advisory Committee, he said every loss is a loss. And that unless they're able to show it is a one-off item, Ghanaians should not take them seriously when they explain it as a policy or economic loss. Today, they are using the same words verbatim. But you see, the problem about the policy or economic loss argument is that if every year you are making policy or economic losses,